Good evening everyone, welcome to round 9 of the NXTGEN Greddy Cooper Z League here at Suzuka East. We've got a number of drivers out on circuit for the penultimate round of the season. We've got Ruddo, who's just gone past his brother there, Matty Rudd, who's gone spinning off at the S's. You've got JPH just coming up behind him. We've got Swargy, oh that's JPH, taking a unique line through the last couple of corners there. Manages to gather up all in a straight line. Swargy there in third. Currently Bertus out on circuit as well, and Snav in for the penultimate round. So the drivers going to be operating around the Suzuka East circuit. Very tight and challenging track for the drivers for tonight, as we watch Ruddo go through turn 2. Of course, the championship leader is Ruddo. Had a great season, as we've discussed many a time. But he now has the championship lead. We've got a very shorter running version of the sessions due to the lower number of drivers for tonight, as Ruddo goes off at the final corner. Not ideal for Ruddo. But just to give you a rundown of the championship standings currently, Ruddo leads the overall championship on 337 points. Swargy 98 is second on 252. Matty Rudd is third on 214, JPH 99 is fourth on 194, Bruce Lee Harden on 182 in fifth with Snav, round out the top 6 with 170. So the drivers already coming to the end of their qualifying runs. Swargy's going to be the next to see the checkered flag. He's 4 tenths down at the moment. He runs wide and off into the gravel trap at the final corner. What about Matty Rudd? He's not going to improve. JPH, I think, has already seen the checkered flag. Snav taking a bit of an interesting line, and sure enough, oh, JPH goes round. Not ideal, and Suburtus has already finished too. So it's a question of just watching. Snav's gone the wrong way. Not ideal, but JPH then just needs to finish the lap he's on. And we should be ready to go racing very, very shortly. Although it doesn't help that JPH is currently facing the wrong way in the Fugus. In terms of the championship, Ruddo has a chance of sealing the championship tonight for the Fugus, the Mini Coopers, and the overall championship with a round to spare. Ruddo's had a fantastic season. Just needs to ensure he pretty much finishes tonight, and he will be crowned as the champion. And JPH just saying race starting now. So we'll be into a 15-minute race for the Fugu Z. A couple of people who are joining in, just watching in on the action as we go into the race. So Suzuka East always throws up a potential opportunity for drivers to have close combat around the Japanese circuit. Let's see how they get on with Ruddo 24 on the right hand side in that black and gold car, Matty Rudd on the left in the purple and gold, Swargy and JPH on the second row of Snav, and Suburtus lining up in 5th and 6th respectively. Let's see how the drivers get on once the lights start to go red. And the race is live from Suzuka East. It looks like a relatively good start from Matty Rudd. He cuts the outside line, but Ruddo's got the inside. He's probably going to be able to hold that going into turn 1. JPH is still third. He's got himself past Swargy going into turn 1 and completes the move right there. That looks like Suburtus has gone flying off at the final corner. It was indeed. Not ideal for them. Let's get the camera angles all back together, but it's JPH up into third place. He's the first mover in the grid so far. A fewer number of drivers racing tonight, unfortunately. But at the moment, Snav just a little bit sideways. Actually, Swargy not having the best of starts. He's dropped to 5th now. Not ideal for him. But the driver's already struggling with the oversteer nature of this Fugu Z car around what is a very difficult circuit at the best of times. Look at this slipstream battle already starting between the two brothers. It's Ruddo and Matty Rudd. Matty Rudd will want to just try and stop Ruddo from having his celebratory crown by getting past him, and these two already have a second over JPH after the initial lap. You see the cars, how they move a lot around, and Matty Rudd actually picking up a penalty there. Just cut the inside of the curb at turn 2. That's going to give him half a second to try and remove. See how quickly he can do that. JPH there in third, Snav under pressure from Swargy. Swargy just into the back of Snav. It looked like a little bit there. They're all running very, very close to the AstroTurf, but they get away with it. Oh, JPH is all in the grass actually. That's going to promote this opportunity here for Snav. He's going to be in the slipstream coming towards turn 1 for the third lap. So JPH moves to the inside line. Snav goes to the outside. We're on board with Swargy as we watch this. Snav tries to go all the way around the outside at turn 1. Runs off the curb. He's got stuck on that AstroTurf. That fires him out the other side of turn 2. And Snav gets past him as well. And look at Swargy trying to go around the outside at turn 3 for turn 4 in the S's. They just about make it through. JPH is struggling with a bit of lag there. Not ideal for his competitors to know where he is at all times, but JPH survives the ordeal, but he's dropped to 4th now, and Suburtus is all over the back of him. And JPH really struggling with some issues with lag here. Doesn't want to affect the rest of the drivers, but look at the two Rudds, they're clear already. You're only on to lap 4, they are 3.5 seconds ahead of Swargy, who you'd feel that, judging by how the championship's gone this season, as JPH defends from Suburtus going into turn number 1 and 2, you feel had it not have been for Swargy's bad start, he would have been right there in the mix with the front 2. Second in the Fugu Championship standings is Swargy. Oh, Burtis running it very, very wide. Coming out of turn 5 there. Just about got away with that. At the moment, drivers are all keeping themselves relatively close together, which is impressive to say, considering there's 6 drivers tonight. We're a championship with a lot more numbers in, but a good number unavailable tonight, and the advent of GC7 being released not so long ago hasn't helped matters for this championship. But there is only one more race after that. After this one. Oh, Burtis is on the Astro. He gets away with it. Snav's been carried though. And he's on the other side of that AstroTurf. Once you get on that side on GT Sport, that's it. The car just ends up washing out wide. And Snav is now over 2 seconds off the back of Suburtus. Great to watch these Fugus though. They're really good around this circuit. You can see JPH just sliding the car through what is turn 5 then, and through turn 6, go through turn 7 now, then clips the curb over into turn 8, which is a very rather misleading corner when you go into it on the approach. I will give everybody a camera angle shortly to sort of exacerbate and highlight the issues that I'm talking about. It's very blind going into that turn, and if you get the line wrong, you can be very much easily sucked in to the grass on the outside line. But in the meantime, Burtis just has to make sure he keeps the pressure on. JPH doing really well currently, is the Dutch driver. Snav just gone over 3 seconds. Look at Burtis giving it all that he can in the Fugu. In third gear currently through the S's. And up into the left-hander, which is Dunlop, and then on the brakes, you see what I mean? It's a rise and then it dips down, and only now can you really see the full edge of the track. Oh, Burtis is still in 5th position. Another good lap time from him, 51.3. A little bit quicker than JPH. He's in the slipstream of the English driver in front of him. That's where he stays for now. See, JPH more than happy to get the tail out through turn 2. Little mistake there from JPH. Just closes that gap between himself and the Dutchman. Oh, Burtis runs a little bit wide through turn 3. That's not going to help him. You see the different lines that the two drivers are taking, wide on some corners, tighter on others. It's all about the momentum really for the cars in the Fugus. See that JPH will probably be a little bit slow and will gain time here. And then on the exit, JPH always has the power down. And Burtis has gone into the grass. He just holds on. I thought that would have taken him into the gravel trap, but he holds on, does Burtis. A little sigh of relief from inside the cockpit of the Fugu. Ruddo and Matty Rudd are side by side coming out of turn 2. Oh, nothing doing there for Matty Rudd. He wants to spoil Ruddo's party. Ruddo currently 41 points clear in the Fugu Championship. If he wins this race, or even if he finishes this race, he will be the champion. Just got to make sure he gets to the end, but he'll want to win it. Championship leader. Matty Rudd trying to take a tighter line. Let's stay on board. Matty Rudd's in the grass. He just gets away with it. Really pushing. And I think he might have just lost the the momentum he would have wanted. He's now over a second behind Ruddo. And we know once Ruddo gets clear, that's it. Once he drops the slipstream from the cars behind him, he can go off on his own. It's ideal for Ruddo to be running by himself. He's more than capable of fighting his way through the field and battling with other cars as Ruddo, as we've seen in the last few years, especially in the McGann Championship last season and in this Fugu Cooper Z League. But right now, Matty Rudd can't quite make any impression on him in the remainder of the lap since he made that mistake, and the gap's out to 1.2 at the moment. Swargy's been doing 51s, low 51s at the moment, so Bertus has got past JPH on this lap. The Dutch driver's moved up a spot. That leaves JPH just in front of his father, who's running in 6th place at the minute. Still running the Ukrainian flag is Snav, in support, of course, of the Ukrainians who are going through a very, very horrible time at the moment. But Snav showing his support. And he's in 6th place at the moment. Can he make any impression on the two cars in front of him? That will be the key question in the remaining 6.5 minutes of this first race of the evening. Oh, that's Bertus running a little bit wide, but that's the ideal line for Bertus, pretty much. Maybe a little bit tighter on the exit, but that was a very good line for him. JPH is going to have to try and recalibrate, really. Lots of weaving across the circuit from Bertus, a bit unnecessary. He was well clear. JPH is still running happily in 5th place. You can tell he's enjoying the car, the way he's throwing it into the corners. Again, the alternative lines used from the two drivers. Can't quite squeeze his way through there, can Bertus? Rather JPH on Bertus. 5.5 minutes left in the session. This is the closest fight on circuit at the moment. Bertus runs a little bit wide. That's a good run from JPH. Let's ride on board with JPH to see what he's seeing. Goes to the outside line, up into 5th gear, 140 mile an hour on the approach to turn 1, up to 150. Bertus has the inside line, but he brakes a little bit too deep, and Jordan JPH 99, as he's known, has slipped under Sir Bertus's outside line, and he gets into 4th. Bertus will be a little bit frustrated at that. He was just defending his position, ran a little bit too deep on the brakes, and that was that for him. But look how sideways JPH is. He can't actually turn into the corner. It's allowed Bertus another chance to go around the outside. A little bit of contact between the two. Bertus is on the grass. Is he going to hold it on circuit? He just about gets away with it. Like a little bit of accidental contact between the two of Bertus and JPH, but Snav is now right there with them. This is a great fight with 4.5 minutes to go now, because it's a 3-car race for 4th position. Snav on the outside line. Bertus defending, he was here before. Let's run deep again, but this time stops Snav from getting underneath him through turn 1. Snav doesn't quite have the momentum he needs to get into the next position. Snav right on the back of Bertus. Always a little bit sideways. Helped a little bit by the traction controllers, Snav. No harm in that. Less than 4 minutes to go now. Ruddo is streaking away at the front. And in fact, Swargy is catching Matty Rudd here. I think Matty Rudd's made a mistake. Let's just have a quick cut forward to the gap between the two. Yeah, it's down to 1.6 with Swargy getting into the 50s for the first time on that last lap. I think Matty Rudd's made a mistake. Not what you need with 3.5 minutes to go, Matty Rudd. Doesn't want that, but out in the lead. Ruddo is stroking her home at the moment. On his way to being the first champion of the individual tables for the Greddy Fugu Z Trophy Cup, if you want to call it that. The overall league, of course, is the Greddy Cooper Z League, combination of both the Greddy Fugu Z and the Mini Cooper S from 1965. Ruddo setting a 50.6. Let's have a look at what Matty Rudd has done this lap. 51.1. Swargy does a 51.5. JPH isn't really paying attention to lap time because he's got Bertis right behind him, but Bertis goes into the gravel. Snav will probably move past. He does. Has the slipstream and the momentum, so Snav gets himself back up into 5th position with 2 minutes 40 on the clock. It's been a very good fight so far between these three. They're providing all of the entertainment for tonight's race. Riding on board with Suburtus. Almost gets underneath Snav, who left a little door open through turn 6 and through turn 7 through Dunlop into the final corner. You see Snav more than happy to get the car sideways. Bertis trying to go underneath him out the final corner. He's just about got the momentum. A little bit of door-to-door banging between the two of them, and now it's going to be a question of momentum down a straight. JPH is on the left hand side, but he's not giving the slipstream to Snav, and Bertis brakes later, slides a little bit wide, still wide at turn 2. I was going to say he got the move done, but only now does Bertis seal 5th place. 1.5 minutes to go. Great racing between these two. JPH has just been allowed a little bit of breathing space. 1.4 seconds now the gap between himself and the Dutch driver and his father for 5th and 6th. Should be enough time for 2 laps for the drivers. So they're going on to the penultimate lap now. Not ideal for Bertis picking up a penalty with such a short amount of time to go. Matty Rudd's shaking that situation off. He was 1.8 clear of Swargy. It's now 2.9. I think Swargy will probably settle for 3rd place, and what is looking likely to be 2nd position in the championship as well in terms of the Greddy Fugu Z element. So we're just pulling away at the minute. JPH, Bertis has just got a little gap now to Snav. So let's watch the last lap then for Ruddo 24 in the Fugu Z. He's not able to race next week, sadly, is Ruddo. But we are watching the champion to be on his final lap. Comes through the left-hander at turn 3 and through turn 4. Nice and smooth from Ruddo. Through turn 5, no issues at all there. The fans celebrating on their feet on the left-hand side of the stadium embankment. Through turn 6, straightforward enough through turn 7. Rounding the final corner, this long turn 8. It's going to be Ruddo 24 not only wins, he takes the championship in the Greddy Fugu Z individual tables, and he's got one hand on the overall trophy. Matty Rudd is 2nd. Good effort from him. Could have been even better had he not gone off. Swargy in 3rd position. JPH is just about going to hold on to 4th position. Great effort from him. Bertis in 5th with Snav rounding out the 6. But it's Ruddo 24, the champion of the Greddy Fugu Z individual racing tables. Well done to him. He only needs a few points now in the Mini Cooper S League to not only win the Mini Cooper Championship but also the entire Greddy Cooper Z League. So we're going to have a little break for a few minutes, and then we're going to go into the second race of the evening, which is in the Mini Cooper Zs. Do feel free to stay on the stream for the time being. I'm going to go silent for a moment or two, get my breath back, and we'll be straight back into it. Hello to Bruce, who's just made a comment there. Maybe we should only do 3 laps for the Mini. That would be quite interesting. I'm sure the drivers wouldn't be able to entertained by that. And we managed to convince Suburtis to stay as well, which is the main thing. Alright, let's see what the drivers can do. We'll be racing in 2 minutes time. Should be interesting to see how they get on. So be Snav on pole position for the reverse grid race with Suburtis in second. JPH will be third. Swargy fourth with Matty Rudd in 5th place, and Ruddo24 will be in 6th position, which will be very good to see. But it will absolutely be down to the drivers to pull something out of the bag in this one. There's definitely more of a chance of an upset tonight than there would be normally, because the drivers will certainly going to be wanting to win. They want to be able to put much more of an effort in. We'll also say as well, Ruddo there, just a confirmation that Ruddo is not only the Greddy Fugu Z champion, but he's also the overall champion of the series, which is absolutely fantastic for Ruddo. Congratulations to him. Very well deserved for Ruddo. He's been outstanding all season long, and all he needs to do down the minis is just make sure he gets himself over the line, and he will be champion of that as well. So be interesting to see what tack Ruddo takes with this. Whether he'll decide that potentially for him he might want to take it a little bit easier during the race and just soak it up being the champion, or whether he'll want to try and attack with it being his final race of the series. But that is soon to be shown. So just a moment or two away now from the start. So there we go, the final has been started by JPH. And into the race we go. For round 9 of the Greddy Fugu Cooper Z League, it's Snav on pole position with Subertus in second. JPH and Swargy line up on row 2. Matty Rudd and Ruddo 24 will start from the back row. But we watch as the revs rise for the final race of the evening. Here come the lights. And the race is live from Suzuka. It looks like a relatively good start from JPH in third place. Let's see how he gets on. He's got it already past Subertus into second position. In fact, Subertus under pressure from Swargy and Matty Rudd. Matty Rudd looking to try and go around the outside as they approach turn 1. He's got the momentum as Matty Rudd, but Subertus has that inside line and he actually forces Matty Rudd out wide, and he drops to 6th as a result as Matty Rudd. Elbows out from Subertus. So the drivers only have 9 minutes effectively on the clock to try and get themselves into first. This will be frenetic, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good one. But it's Snav who leads the way with JPH in second. Bertus third, Swargy fourth, Ruddo fifth. Look at Swargy trying to go around the outside of Subertus, who just plants his car right in the way. And at the moment, Subertus will be happy with his defence. JPH will be open for a bit more of a defence from him though. Try and break the gap and the tow. Now the slipstreaming starts. All the way down towards turn 1. You can see that JPH is closing on Snav in front of him. But they will start buzzing the limiter very, very shortly. And looking to the inside was JPH. But not going to try and make a move. He's a little bit out of shape coming into turn 2. Bertus has the momentum. He can't make a way through. You can see Swargy in our camera here at the top of the screen, but he can't get through, can Swargy. Oh, he's run a little bit deep as Bertus. He's going to be on the inside line for this next corner though at turn 6. Swargy's going to get hung out to dry here because Ruddo's on the outside line for Dunlop, and he can't make it through in the end. Look at Bertus trying to find a way through. The side by side JPH has been fired off the track by Bertus, and rightfully so. Bertus waits up for him. JPH just had a bit of momentum there actually, just to get himself going again, and Subertus might actually just now be out of the race, considering what's just gone on. He'll be a bit frustrated at that. Tried to take advantage of Bertus's ghost, JPH's ghosting, but Ruddo makes the most of the opportunity presented to him. He's up into second place, is the Mini Cooper table leader at the moment. Matty Rudd just under, or just over 2 tenths behind his brother. Swargy there in 4th. JPH and Suburtus, I think, might be quite out of this now. But it leaves Snav up in front on his own. He's got about a second. It's going to be very odd, though, to try and keep the chasing trio behind him. Snav certainly does have a very good approach to his defensive driving. The Betty Swallocks Mini. Oh, big jump from Ruddo. Not really quite sure. I think he's hit a cone that's caused that. But the slipstream comes into effect now for Matty Rudd. He's going to move to the inside line. Oh, that's a bit late from Ruddo. Got to say, a little bit late. Matty Rudd was looking to the inside there. That might be one to have a look out for later on. But Swargy's still there in 4th position. Just watching the two brothers in front of him. JPH in 5th. He's going to be really annoyed at what happened. Probably felt like that was a good chance to get a 1-2 podium for father and son, but looks like that chance has now gone. And Bertis running in 6th. I think he's just going to have fun for the remaining 6 minutes or so. Snav still holding his own up front. The gap's come down by a couple of tenths. Let's watch the lap times. A 55.9. Double one from Snav. It's a 55.5 from Ruddo. So 3.5 tenths gained. Matty Rudd's done a 55.7 with Swargy matching Snav. JPH a little bit further back at a 56.3. And here comes Bertus. Still a little bit further back. He's done a 59.8. Which indicates that he's actually, now it's updated, he's done a 1 minute 1.168, which indicates he's made a mistake somewhere on that last lap. But Snav has been officially joined by Ruddo, going through turn 6. Ride on board with Ruddo. Ruddo will be more than happy to take his time. He's got a little bit of a gap to Matty Rudd. It's only 6.5 tenths, but that's quite a lot around this circuit. Another new fastest lap from the championship leader. Here he comes then into the slipstream. Around the outside. Is Matty Rudd going to try and pull off a move such as that? He's still there on the outside line as Matty Rudd. And then he swings underneath Snav, and that's a great overtake. Ruddo moves into the lead. And Snav, is he going to hold off Matty Rudd? He does. Bit of a corner caught, bit of a knock from Matty Rudd. It's got to be one of those positions where you've got to give it back, really. I don't think Matty Rudd will, to be honest. So the two Rudds get themselves into 1st and 2nd. Swargy now trying to find his way through. A little bit of door-to-door contact between the two of Swargy and Snav. Snav holds on to 3rd for the time being. So just over 4 minutes remaining in this race. Ruddo in the lead. He's got Matty Rudd now back applying the pressure. What a familiar sight this has been this season. Ruddo leading the way and a car behind putting the pressure on him, but Ruddo tends not to crack. He's still having to go defensive on his brother. And go around the outside at turn 7. Can't find his way through. Bit of a look further back. Snav still in 3rd position. Swargy was right behind him, but he just cost himself some momentum out the final corner. And Snav stays in 3rd position. JPH still running round. Hasn't really lost too much time to the leading pack. But that lap 1, or rather that incident earlier on lap 2, has pretty much cost him any chance of a podium now for this race. As it has for Suburtus as well. He's taking a few cuts at that final corner. Oh, look at this. Matty Rudd trying to go around the outside at turn 6. Ruddo just a little touch up the inside. And he holds on to the lead. But 2.5 minutes upcoming. It's going to be very big 2.5 minutes for Ruddo. He'll want to win. And Matty Rudd. Matty Rudd won't want him to. Here we go in the slipstream. Dummies to the outside line. Ruddo trying to work his way around the outside is Matty Rudd. Can he hold on? No, not quite. Well, Matty Rudd just following in Ruddo's line. Swargy's got up to third. He's got past Snav. JPH actually a lot closer than before, so maybe these two have had a little bit of a tussle during the last lap. Roughly 2 laps to go for these drivers. Okay, Matty Rudd trying to find an effort that'll work around the outside line as they approach turn 1. Ruddo will know this, so Matty Rudd will have to try and do it the hard way. Oh, he's a little bit sideways into turn 1. Where's Matty Rudd, but he hold on to it. The drivers will only have one more lap after this one to make any form of impression on the car in front. Snav and Swargy still going at it. JPH is catching them, but I think he's going to run out of laps. There's Subertus. Goes on to what will be his final lap. But it's Ruddo who's got the lead, and he's got an advantage now. Matty Rudd's made a mistake. Not perfect for him. Swargy's in third, Snav fourth. JPH in fifth. On this final lap then. But it's Ruddo we're watching at the moment. He's just coming through turn 5 now. He's only got a couple of seconds left on the clock. As time ticks over as we go round turn 6, this is it, the final lap for the drivers. Bertus sees the checkered flag, but this man, he's been incredible all season long, and rightfully so, gets all the plaudits he deserves. Ruddo 24 wins the Mini Cooper S Cup, the Greddy Fugu Cup, and the overall championship. Well done to Ruddo. Matty Rudd second, Swargy third, Snav fourth, and JPH in fifth. Well. There may be less drivers, but Ruddo's showing his authority as always. An outstanding effort from him. Champion of the Next Gen Greddy Cooper Z League. Individual drivers champion of the Greddy Fugu Z and of course the Mini Cooper S. He's done the clean sweep in what is his final race in the league. But in terms of my position, that is it for this week. This will be the last live commentary for this championship. I will be unable to do next week, sadly, due to work commitments, which is a little bit frustrating, but there will of course be live commentary, well, there'll be replay commentary position for this league very soon, so do check that out on Twitch. I'll be streaming again of course next Tuesday for the 5th round of the Formula 1 season on the F1 2021 game of course. But before we go, just want to say one last time, congratulations to Ruddo 24 on being a 3-time champion within one league. Absolutely outstanding. What a season he has had. Join me at some point next week for the final round of the Greddy Cooper Z League. But in the meantime, wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one and see you soon.